we are going. Okay, so we're going to go over 3.1, the settings. We're also going to look at, let's start off with when not to trade trading axis. Today is a perfect example of when not to trade. Let's go to cable. If you look at cable, your daily pivots, even the Murray math lines if you're using them, everything's compressed pretty close together. Basically all that indicates is the Euro session had a lot of news and it did move the market a lot. With shit compressed this close, I would definitely say give it some time for the market to move and the things to stretch back out. But today, as for trading axis, you don't see a range here. We have flat, a drop, flat, and a move up. So it's definitely not a great day for trading axis. If we look on the market here, just a rundown for the Euro session. US session's just kicking in, and bell rings in, let's see, bell rings in like 20 minutes. We'll see what happens after that. But if you look at the charts, really not enough movement to use trading axis. If you're some people I know do trade it on the 1 minute chart. You might possibly, let's take a look real quick. On the 1 minute chart it looks a little bit better, but for the 5 minute we don't have enough movement. Shit's relatively flat across the board, or it's trending pretty hard downwards. Like I'd mentioned before I started the recording, if we see trending continuing once the US session opens, then flip into itch, you guys. I got the videos on the forums so you can take a look at them and see how to use it. It's an easy way to trade it. Let's get to a chart. We'll look at 3.1. This is for tab 3.1. If you go into it. Okay, so build 745 came out for MetaTrader. No surprise there that they haven't slowed down, which I thought they would. And 3.1 worked, so you in the newest Indie Pack, 3.1 is in there. You do need to have all the indies from the original Indie Pack in there because it does feed off some of those, so make sure that you have, don't go deleting some of the old indicators you have. Make sure you're using, they just have to be loaded into your indicators folder. They don't have to be on the chart. I'm seeing a lot of people that when an update comes out, they use the old indicators plus the new indicators. Basically on your charts, the core for trading axis, you would want, out of the new Indie Pack, I'm running the BO price, the Bollinger Bands, the one that's SCMTF, candle closing time, tab 3.1, the TA fib underscore SR, daily open line, TA pivots, TADF is on there, TAPRP is on there, Murray Math, VCustom. I'm using a stochastics and your confirm indie. So let's see, let's go into 3.1 real quick. Okay, so 3.1 has a couple features that 2.2, 2.3, 2.4 didn't. If you go down to the bottom, it can take into account prime numbers and pivot levels automatically for you, so it'll filter the alerts. 3.1 was supposed to be a complete replacement for VCustom. But when the 700 build hit, and I'll show you what I mean, the 700 build hit, it didn't work. So I'm going to try and fix this so it does. But standard crap, you got the first set is going to be your Bollinger Band deviations. Right now I'm running 20 and 2. Reason I'm running 2 instead of 3 is I want to get the alert out so I can watch it. Because my Bollinger Bands on my screen are at 2.75, but this will enable me to get the alert a little bit earlier, so I have time to go jump to the chart and look at it. Previously, let's see, previously you had RSI 1 and 2, so you're able to use 2 RSIs. One of the things I do have, I'm using RSI period 3. You can use period 3, 4, or 5, really depends on your taste. My limits are 80 and 20 on 3, which again, this gets me, I'm using not so aggressive, I guess you could say, because I want the alert a little bit early so I can then jump to the chart and look at it. By not going so aggressive, I might get an alert more than I would normally, but it's letting me get to the charts earlier. Last month was kind of sucky for trends, but the last 2 weeks have improved. So I'm getting more alerts at once, so I want to be able to take a little more time. Let's see. RSI 2 period, if you look at it, I have it set to 4, but my upper and lower is set to 50. Basically, by setting it to 50, that means it's not taking RSI into account because it's always qualified. VC period 0, VC number bars, I have it set to 5. And VC bars to check is set to 100. You could actually drop that back down to about 25. Okay, the important part on this one, and this is where it comes into play, since this was a replace for vCustom, but it's not showing on the chart for some reason after the 711 build. You want to make sure for VC display chart is set to false. VC display support and resist is false. Classic is false. Dynamic false. That if the first two are set to true, it should show on the chart just a normal value charts, but that's not working. So I have to go back and look and see why. Not going to mess with it. Right now. They're pushing out builds too fast right now to go back to this. At least it held steady. Let's see, the next thing, VC alert on, I have it set to false because I have vCustom doing the alert. Again, this was supposed to be a standalone to replace vCustom, but since nope. Overbought and oversold right here, 8 and 7. Those are your limits. It doesn't really matter except for the VC overbought's 8 and VC oversold's 8. That it will not pertain at all actually because we're not using the using it on the screen again. So you can ignore all those actually. When you come down to upper value and lower value for VC, these are the ones that trigger the alert. So these are your two important ones. I currently have mine set to 8. Cog implementation, that one's real important. It has to be regression with a capital R typed in perfectly. If not, it won't use the regression cog and you won't get any alerts. So spelling's important there. Regression settings don't change anything. They're fine the way they are. And it has an option to switch to an MBFX regression cog, but the MBFX is a bit wider. Let's scroll down. Next you'll see prime number indicator. Don't mess with anything there. The number's already in there for you. And then it says prime and pivot filter. This is the new one. 0 will turn this off. If you do it to 1, it will only trigger an alert when all conditions are met plus a pivot line is broken. If you go to 2, it'll be a prime numbers broken plus all conditions, and 3 means both. That turns it really strict, and you will not get very many alerts. It's not either or, it's both. Other than that, enable send mail to true because I was bored, so you can send emails on alerts. If you trade like the 15-minute time frame, it might be useful if you're watching TV. That was in there because we have some people trading 15 and 30-minute. They really didn't want a lot of trades. They just wanted... They have this thing basically maxed out on aggressiveness or not being aggressive. That's pretty much the settings. What I'm using now, like I mentioned, I'm using 20 and 2. I'm set up to get the alerts a little bit early, not fully... well, they're qualified trades, but it's a little bit lax on the rules because I want to have time to look at them. Color-wise, white colors it, and if you want a bigger arrow, you just go to width, and if you change it to 5, and I guess a lot of people didn't know this one, I'll show you. The bigger the number, the bigger the indicator, and of course it won't show on the chart. If you load this up, and last thing, if you load it up and your value charts gets wonked out, remember this was a replacement for vCustom. Just flip time frames and come back and it will redraw them properly. Other than that, that pretty much covers it. The last build of 3.1 will completely replace vCustom though, so as soon as I slow down a little bit on the builds, because I don't know what happened, because it was working perfectly where I could remove vCustom and have this here, but now it's not. See if I remove... I'm not even going to get into it. Just not working. So that pretty much covers it, guys. If you have any questions, hit me up on the forums, Skype, whatever. And let me stop recording.